What's up, world? Welcome to a new episode of the brand new show, Underdog to Success podcast interview edition. I'm here with somebody that I love very much. She is super cool. She hit me up on my 2 year anniversary, and we've been cool and had chemistry ever since. That was only right there. I put on my podcast, man, and had a conversation with her, Ms.Q. Tell them where they can find your amazing podcast, where they can follow you and get all of that amazing content that you provide for all of us.
All right. Well, first, I want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to join you and just chat it up with you. For those that don't know, I'm Kabila QB, um, host of the QSpot podcast. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, sometimes Snapchat, but Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, all under the QSpot podcast. I try to keep it simple. And then, of course, on the podcast platforms, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, all that. So yeah, check me out. I've just uploaded a new episode. I'm trying to do some work and not let too much time go by. So I'm trying to keep up with you.
Nah, you ain't gotta keep up with me. You're doing an amazing job already. You don't need to keep up with me. I need to keep up with you. Um,
Thank you.
you have an amazing podcast, amazing platform. You are such an amazing podcaster. And so, what got you to do podcasting? What made you want to do podcasting?
I never saw myself here. Um, it was after I started working with the local radio station in my city. I'm in Arkansas, for those may be wondering. And so we have a local nonprofit, non-commercial, minority-owned radio station. And so I started doing some work with the manager there. And he said, okay, I want to put together a structured show. Would you be the co-host? Okay, sure. Never saw myself in radio. Okay, some time went on. He was like, I'm going to turn the show over to you. I was, okay. So it was through the radio show, interviewing the different people that I interviewed, and realizing how structured and strict I had to be with my voice and my opinions. I'm like, I need my own platform. I can just say whatever I want. Now, I'm not like wowing out and all that on my platform. However, I do say more things that I don't say and can't say on the radio. So that's how it all started, really.
You gotta keep your job. I respect it.
Most definitely.
um, you're doing an amazing job with the podcast. I didn't know you started in radio. That's so crazy. That's amazing to know that, because I actually started doing a podcast because I wanted to be in radio, so it kind of just all happened the way it was. Um, um, so doing a podcast, you said you get to do things on a podcast that you probably can't do on the radio. So what is one of the topics that you love to talk about, probably that you can't say on the radio, but you can say it on a podcast?
Okay, so during election season, we get to interview the local, state, and sometimes the federal candidates for the different positions. Well, I have to, I can't be like Fox and CNN and just grill them and go at them. I have to be kind of even.
Yeah,
I can't let it be known who I favor, which candidate I like the most. I just have to be cool with everybody. But on my platform, I can talk about politics from my perspective without holding back. I could say, okay, based on me being a Black woman, Black in my community, this is my experience and this is how I see it. And this is, but on the radio, I have to be a little more
hmm
edited.
yeah, yeah,
I can't go ham on the
yeah. Like you were lying. I know you was lying. It's like you can't do that.
because there are questions like, especially when I interview city council people, like I want to ask them about gentrification and you know
Mm.
rediverting funds for this, that, and whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm not here to beat them up. Okay, so yeah, but if they ever come on my platform, I'm asking all the hard questions. Look, you're not gonna wiggle the way out of this. So yeah.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it. I think we need to ask more politicians those questions off record, I guess, if you want to say off record. I don't know if a podcast is off record, but off record, I guess. Let them save face, I guess. Um, being from Arkansas, have you always been from Arkansas? Like you're originally from Arkansas?
Interesting. Well, not interesting. What I'm Texas born, Arkansas raised. So Southern Belle all around.
Yeah.
But I did spend a year of my life and during my junior high years in Illinois in the suburbs. So I got a taste of the suburbs. I got a taste of the country, and when I say country, like fields and dirt roads and country. that's where, that's where I grew up mainly. So I guess you can say, yeah, I've been in Arkansas most of my life because yeah, out of the
Yeah.
40 years I've lived in Arkansas. So yeah.
I'm from Louisiana and I've been living in Texas ever since, so I get
Oh,
it.
wow.
I,
You still hanging in that south.
yeah, I'm still in the South. I get it. I mean, I'm a Southern kid. That's what it is. It just is what it is. And dirt roads and stuff. Oh my God, you go through Texas, Houston, of all places. You go through Houston, and so you be like, oh, this is beautiful. Houses are amazing. And you start seeing Confederate flags. You're like, oh shit, I think I went too far. You're like, oh.
Yeah, and see where I live, um, the city I live in, you can almost once you step into the city. It's a college town for one. It's a dry county, which that's a whole other subject. um, but you once you start looking around and you go to different businesses, you quickly see, what it's like and who's in I'd say who's in charge, but you get to see what it's like. And
Mhm.
so that's another reason I wanted to do my podcast because I feel like I have a lot to say. I'm educated. I don't go around boasting and bragging. Oh, I have a degree, and I don't do that. But when I go to meetings and I'm at community events, I need people to know I know what I know, and you're not going to bully me. It's because I look different from you, and I may speak different from you. I know what I know, and you're not going to, try to put me in my. Can we just say whatever here? Because
Go off. Do what you gotta do. I'm with it.
again, this is not to shade. This is not about race. It's not about to shade people that look different from me. However, I have a black experience. That's my life 24/7, 365. And so white people or non-black people will quickly try to tell you or try to tell you who they think you are based on their perspective. And so on my platform, like I just did an episode talking about I'm black all the time because if I'm not aware of my blackness, someone else is gonna make sure that I'm aware of my blackness. So yeah, and I started my podcast so I can say what I want and tell people, non-black people, this is our experience, and you're not gonna try to quiet us and make us feel some kind of way about our experience. Either you listen or move aside, do something about it or move aside. So anyway, I'm trying not to get too rowdy. Too rowdy.
I'm with it. She
Look,
said what she said. She said what she said. Yeah. I'm backing it. She said what she said.
look,
God
my
damn
inner
it.
Angela Davis gonna rise up, like you know.
Nah, that's good. That's good. I actually wanted to talk to one of my amazing female podcasters this week, actually, this whole month, because I wanted to start talking about like uh being a woman, because this month I think it's breast cancer awareness month.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to talk to women. I wanted to see like how the steps are, when you have to go in for all these things, and have your family had it? Have you been around like people that have had it before, stuff like that? So I wanted to talk to you guys about that, because especially in the black community, because a lot of people don't understand how much black women get this.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I wanted to talk to a fellow podcaster, especially a female, and I wanted to come and bring them on. And this is you're a perfect candidate. And I'm happy you hit me up. It was like, hey, when you want to do this podcast? I was like, whenever you're ready. So have you been around somebody with breast cancer awareness, breast cancer? So, and
Mm,
if you want to talk about it, I mean,
yeah. So unfortunately, and I know everybody gonna come for me. Please, y'all, don't come for my throat. I'm 40 plus, and I have not had my exam yet. Oh my god. So I get fussed at
that's
all the
that's
time.
that's understandable. Right now, I mean, hospitals are very, you don't know really who you could go, because COVID's still out here. You don't know, flu's coming in now. It's like a lot of stuff going on, so I can understand that.
Yeah. So but I have had a cousin. Sorry, I have a cousin who's a survivor, and there was my pastor's daughter, a survivor, and another close, two other close friends, and watching their journey was amazing. Excuse me. Um, with the two ladies that I was able to see close up, they didn't skip a beat, And I say it's, and they would say it's their faith that kept them, but it's still the whole process of getting an exam. It's uncomfortable, they squeeze you and do all kind of things. Um,
I don't know. So I'm listening to this. I'm going by what you're saying.
and then it's the waiting for the results, because you just don't know. Um, and then for them, they talked about it was that moment where they were doing the self exam and they felt something that felt different. So the initial anxiety from that, getting the exam, waiting for the results, and then getting the diagnosis. Like, okay, what's next? We're grateful to live at a time where modern medicine has made most diagnosis out to be not a death sentence, And so, but it's still like, what next? So I watched them go through their treatments, of course, the hair falling out, weight loss, tiredness, things of that nature. And mind you, both of these women had children and husbands and jobs. And so just watching them navigate all of that, and it was just amazing watching them. But they did share, there's some low moments in there, your body's changing, everything's changing, and very fastly. And so it's a process. It's, if you are not, if you're already emotionally weak person, you're unstable, you're gonna need a support team. Um, you cannot go through it alone. That's number one. You cannot go through it alone. And you're gonna have to find some, I'm speaking to women, and based on the experience that I've seen and heard, you're gonna have to dig deep within yourself and find that strength somewhere to get through, because if you don't, your mind is going to take you out before the disease probably will. And we've all heard where the mind goes, the body will follow. Um, Even when I was going through other illnesses of mine, the doctors would tell me, stop crying, stop being down, stop being depressed, because the more emotionally down you are, your body
We'll
takes
react.
on that. So, same thing with anything else. And with breast cancer, it's hard. Black women, when they get breast cancer, I don't know what it is about us and our system, our DNA, but it attacks us more aggressively. And usually, most Black women, one, we don't do self exams, you know. And here's the thing, if you have a partner, I mean, while y'all getting intimate, we're just gonna keep it grown and real. While y'all being intimate, let them feel and touch and like pay attention if something feels different. Um, and then go get checked out. We don't go to the doctor. We as Black people don't go to the doctor until we're on our deathbed. So
Yeah,
we got to stop that. Yeah.
definitely, definitely. And another thing I wanted to add on to that is also stop thinking men don't get this shit too. Black men, you get it too. So stop thinking
Yeah.
that shit ain't for just for women. Nah, man, check your shit too.
I mean,
Like, hey, check your
your
shit too, man.
tissue, your tissue in your chest is the same as our breast tissue. So yeah,
Hmm.
you just don't produce milk, like we do, but the tissue is the same. We all
Hmm.
have lymph nodes. That's another thing. That's a whole other medical. You're gonna definitely have to get someone that
I
knows a
know,
lot more about
but
breast.
I wanted a female on here to explain to a lot of these women out here because that that's the thing. And I've had cancer in my family, not breast cancer, but I've had cancer in my family, and my uncle's going through it right now, matter of fact, and he's a strong individual. But when I got that, man, I talked to my dad, and he told me that, man. He told me it was like stage 4. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like out of all the people, like this man who played football for most of his damn life, he's now got stage 4 cancer. Like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious? But my uncle, I check on my uncle every day, damn near. I text him every day. How you feeling? I'm chilling, man. You already know, little B. I got it. I'm good. And it's just like to hear him still have that upbeat. For me, it's still something because, like I always say, I'm used to being a sick one. So to see people that I truly love and have like those types of love and relationships with, it catches me off guard, and it just it fucks with my mental. It really does. But I know I got some strong people in my family because if I survive some shit, I know they can survive it. And my dad had cancer too, so it's kind of like this is just like I'm like I'm pretty sure they're gonna make it out of it. And it just that shit just hits so fast, and it's just like God damn, you know what I'm saying? So check on your people.
Yeah.
And I know, like she said, man, y'all don't want to go to hospitals, but sometimes, man, you gotta know the alternative. And I know people that that literally leg could fall off in a day. Like literally that day it could fall off. I'm good. Nah, man, I see your leg like trembling, bro. Like you look like it's about to fall off. Let's go. You know you're not growing it back, right? Like, you're not a starfish. It's not growing back.
We, especially the Black people in the Black community, we have so many different health issues. And not to say other races, ethnicities don't have them, it just affects us differently. I don't know
So
why.
differently. So
And
differently.
there are a lot of things that we deal with that can be avoided if we only get treatment. Sometimes it's a matter of getting your blood work done, seeing where your cholesterol levels are, seeing where your iron and vitamin deficiencies are, and then taking vitamin supplements or whatever just to help boost. Make a few changes in your diet. I'm not saying you got to diet strictly, just make a few changes in what you do and how you do. Get a few moments of exercise in, like simple things that we can do can boost our health immensely. But we got to go to the doctor. We need to have those conversations, and we need to make it generational. That's another thing. Grandma died, auntie died. The kids are like, "What happened? Oh, don't worry about it." We
Yeah.
push it aside. And then they grow up like, okay, what really happened? Now they have something that could have been prevented if they only. So we got to talk to each other, go to the doctor, and then keep the generational conversations going. I'm all about legacy and building up on legacies across the generations. Um, have stories. Sit and talk with your elders while you still have them, because once they're gone, those stories and memories are gone. So anyway, I don't. Sorry to go that direction. I don't know why I went that direction. Sorry.
Listen, I love the conversations because that's exactly what we need, man. We need more conversations of not tearing each other down, more about building each other up. And I think that that's where we kind of lose that a little bit. Sometimes we lose the sight of, I always say success, but it's not just success. I think it's just that old crabs in a barrel mentality. Sometimes we just grab each other. We just only one can survive and succeed, and the others have to just figure it out. But it's like, nah, man, we got so much more than just like one person has to succeed, so he puts everybody else on. It's like, nah, we all deserve a part and a piece of this situation too. And our
Yeah.
own lane. I think everybody has their own personal lanes where they can all discover who they are.
Yeah. We always talk about. I see things on social media. Um, why is it that this race? How is it that the Chinese people or Japanese or Korean people have come over here and they're doing better than us? I see this conversation all the time. Or how is that white people keep building generational wealth and being wealthy versus being rich, two
It's
different
two different
things.
things. Two
And
different
I,
things.
I need people to understand that.
It's way two different
Rich
things.
is like what you got in the bank right now. Wealthy is what you leave to your kids that's going to keep generating and building for years to come. So that's two different things.
Rich is
Anyway,
what you got in your pocket. Rich is what you got in your pocket. Wealthy is for kids. Wealthy is for your grandkids, grandkids. It turns into interest after a while. You're like, you gotta go call, you gotta check on your stock portfolio. Like, your stock portfolio? What the fuck? You got a stock portfolio? What the fuck is this? People be shocked and shit, like, stock portfolio. What is that? It's like,
look, there's so many conversations we do not have. Just in the
so many.
Black community alone, it's like I didn't get to learn about stocks until I was in my 30s and 40s. There were other things that I didn't know about until I got to my 30s and 40s. I'm like, where have I been? What has life been? All this time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean,
Another
yeah.
thing.
Go
Life
ahead. Go
insurance.
ahead.
Life insurance. We don't do that enough either. We should have to have fish fries and GoFundMe's. And then this is where wealth comes in. So anyway, look, we're going all around the world with this conversation.
We could look. I am with it. Ugh, I am with it. Hopefully, somebody listen to this and be like, you know what, that was right. You know, they're actually talking the truth, but they won't because they will get mad that we even talk about this. So it's just like, you know how this goes. You know how it goes. But we're saying truths here, ladies and gentlemen. I know you probably don't want to hear that, but it is what it is. Um,
If you don't mind, like the reason I am now in this space mentally is because of the things that have happened to me in my life and how I grew up and then what's happened to me health wise. And so I am now being pushed into a place where I have to start thinking more business minded and I have to start putting some ducks in a row. You know,
mm, I've heard that.
not that
Heard that.
I'm
I haven't heard that quote in years. Lord, I haven't heard that quote in years. Let me put my ducks in a row. Like, oh shit.
not that I'm, on death's door, nothing like that. But we
No,
never know what
never.
happens day to day. And we have to always have some type of contingency plan. I have a son, he's in his 20s. However, I still want to leave something for him. So that's why I go hard with my podcast because we all gonna have some sponsors, some major sponsors around this scale one day. We're gonna have them checks coming in. And so yeah, we gotta have the content ready to roll. So that's why I do what I do. Because I eventually either want to hire my son and leave him something. Um, whenever it is my time, whenever I retire or whatever happens with me. So, and we all need to have that mindset of why are we doing this? I mean, is it just because I want my name out there? I want people to be like, oh, you got a dope podcast. Do you want people to know your name or do you want to make an impact? And do you want to earn something in the process? So yeah.
I know you say you got a business mind right now. So was that always the case? Because to me, I feel like business will come when you know, when it's when it's time. But for me right now, it's about putting the personal into it. I think a lot of my content is very personal, and because I don't want people to be like when they listen to the podcast, like, oh, he became successful, so he started talking about money and business and stuff like that. I'm
Mhm.
like, nah, I'm still the same guy. They got in the bed with me. I didn't get in bed with them. They called me and was asking me, hey, can you still do that thing that you was doing when you started, like when we started listening to you? And that's my whole thing. I want to always have some sense of like me in the podcast because it's
Yes.
named after me for a reason. So is that the same way you think about it, or is it all business and it's just like when it gets time, it's business?
No. So for me, one of my taglines is real and relevant. I want my content to be real and relevant today, tomorrow, and 10 years plus from now. I want to leave people with something that's going to stick with them, like the meat and potatoes. You can eat a sandwich that's going to go away in a minute, but you get the meat and potatoes, that beef stew and all that with cornbread and stuff. And, that's going to stick to you for a little bit. So I'm a country girl. I told you I'm a country girl.
Yeah, I'm about to say all these country singers, man. Goddamn. I'm about to say this is so. That is now that's Southern. That is Southern, baby. That is Southern. I don't know what y'all talking about.
When you eat a good meal with cornbread,
Mm.
beans and anything with beans and cornbread, that's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
fill you up. Um, but no, I want to make an impact, and that's another thing I pulled from my radio show gig is I want to make sure the information is impactful, it's informative, some fun, but it makes a difference. I may only reach one person at a time. I may reach 10 with one episode, but whoever gets something from that episode, I've done my job. I don't want it to be all about being fluffy and being strictly entertaining. I want it to be educational, informative as well. I mean, yeah, don't let my hair and makeup and all this stuff fool y'all. Look, I'm still about when I say business, we all want to generate some income. some extra income. And so that's why I say business. I don't want to be one of those people that's pushing a whole bunch of products on people, because that's why I haven't launched any merchandise yet. Because I want to make sure what I put out, people have a good feeling about it, and they have a good feeling about supporting me that way because they know me and my brand. um, yeah, but I just want to make sure people feel good once they walk away. Like, okay, I want to go back and listen some more. I really like what she's doing. Um, of course, I would like to have a bigger platform, but let me tell you, when you ask God for something, you best be ready for what's coming. So when God say access granted, you better be ready, and you better make sure you got your spirit in check, because, like you said, you're talking about people want to get in bed with you, and that's the term. When businesses and corporations and the money people come after you, if your spirit is not in check, you can get corrupted very quickly and lose total focus on what you started doing in the first place. So yeah. So for those people that say, "Oh, you changed," or those other people changed, they probably did because they weren't ready. They were guarded and ready to handle what came their way. And I want to make sure I'm ready and I don't get taken. My spirit doesn't get lost in the process.
Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the whole podcast of Brandon Janu. That's what I've been pretty much telling every single person. If you have listened, don't do shit if your ass is not physically ready for it. Not
Yeah.
just physically, mentally. Because a lot
Yes.
of people think you're physically ready, but then mentally, you're still young. You have no idea. The surface of your mindset isn't even there yet. So you're so ready to jump out the window, but it's just like, do you realize that window leads to a long ass downfall? Like if you don't even pay attention, but you're so ready for the money, you don't have anything mentally or spiritually or like emotionally tied to anything yet.
Like, what are
You
you
don't have it tied
grounded
yet.
to? You better be grounded in something.
You have no idea. You're so focused on the I want the money now. And it's like, all right, well, you got it. Well, then what? You're gonna blow it in
Okay.
five months after you get it, because after that, people gonna start to see your content and be like, okay, this is so watered down. What the fuck is this?
You know, I did an interview with a guy last year, and he talked about, like, he's a financial advisor, stockbroker, like he does all this kind of stuff in the financial world. And he was like, that phrase, money can't buy you happiness, it's really true. Um, he said, you better find your happiness before you find the money. Because once the money comes, you're going to forever seek and chase something that's unobtainable. So you better find your happy, and you better be settled, rooted, and grounded where you are. Because once the money comes, that's only just going to elevate what you're able to do, the places you're able to go and things how you're able to navigate the world. Money just gives you access to other things, but you better find your happy right now.
I truly
So
believe it.
I want to put that little nugget out there.
I truly believe that. I believe it. I truly believe it because you can't look for happiness in material things. You can't look for happiness in people. If you're not, this is why I always, because I go to therapy. I go to therapy all the time. I go to therapy every month, every first Monday in a month. So I
Okay.
just had therapy. So my first therapy session, I told my therapist, I don't want to be happy. So I don't want happiness. Happiness is one feeling, but you got to feel all your emotions
Mm-hmm.
because you're so focused on happy, you're blinded by it. So you don't know what sad feels like because you're so happy. But you got to have those days where the rain is not just outside, but it's in your life. It's raining on you. You got to figure out how the fuck you don't feel when that rain hits you.
When tell you.
Like you
Yes.
gotta know how that feel, like emotionally, mentally. You gotta know how that rain feel because it's like, all right, I can't go outside tonight. I can't go outside. I gotta figure out what's going on inside. First of all, I go outside. Like you can't just, get dolled up and go outside. It's like when you're broken on the inside, that's not good. That's
Yeah.
not good. And I truly believe that. But like I said, I don't want to be happy. I want to be at peace.
Yeah.
Peace is better than happiness, and I want to have balance. where
balance.
I want to feel all my emotions as a mental, spiritual, emotional. I want to feel all my emotions. And when it comes to physical, that's what I need. I want to know when I want to cry, I want to cry. Like I gotta cry. Let these tears come out. Let it happen. When I want to smile, I'm gonna smile. Like, and when I'm pissed off, I'm gonna show you I'm pissed off. Like it's just as simple as that. It's as simple as that.
Well, I hope you have a healthy way of letting out that anger, though. Like, look, y'all, there, go to one of them external rooms. I don't know if they have them in Texas, and
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
seeing them on TV. There are these places where you can go and break stuff. They have a bunch of plates and glasses and just whatever stuff. And yeah, but then that needs to be all across the world. um,
Well, it's Texas, so they probably do have it somewhere. I gotta just find it. It's Texas. You know Texas. You know Texas. They got something for that.
yeah, Texas got a lot of guns, so I'm sure there's a shooting range. You
I
know
need
what?
to.
Texas is off the chain. We're gonna talk about Texas today, though. Texas is off
Yeah,
the chain.
it's too damn. That'd be a whole 3 hour episode. We talk about Texas. Like it'd be so goddamn long. It'd be so long. But you said this earlier, and I want to bring it back. You said you have dealt with a lot of health issues
Mm-hmm.
in your life.
Oh,
I have as well. You know, heart condition, mental health. Of
oh,
course, I got bipolar, anxiety, just a lot of things. Um, so, what health issues have you been dealing with, or have you dealt with?
okay. Well, so for those people that don't know, and I talk about this on my show, on my podcast, I have lymphedema. And lymphedema is basically when your lymph nodes, think of your lymph nodes like little pumps in your body, and they pull out the bad stuff, the toxins and the waste. And so you have lymph nodes all over your body. And when they stop functioning properly, that stuff builds up and it has an adverse effect on your body. And so for me, it's in my legs. And so my legs are now, you've probably seen videos and pictures of people with really big or wide legs. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's both. And it just looks super swollen, like it's gonna bust. And so it's both of my legs. And so as you can see, I'm not at home right now. I'm in a facility, getting some rehab and all that. And for a while I was afraid to talk about it, embarrassed really. But if I don't tell my truth, then I might could be hindering someone else from their healing and their breakthrough. So I've been dealing with this since 2009, and it started small, with blisters and things. And I've had surgeries from 2010 to 2012. And I've gone on to do a few other things in life. I went to beauty school. I got married, but through it all, it's been the constant um, tissue growth, fluid buildup, um, just odds and ends, discomfort and pain, and wound care management. And when I tell you, it's been life altering. At one point, I was able to drive. I stopped driving about 2015. That took me down emotionally because then I felt like there was a piece of my independence gone because I'm not able to drive. So then I got to the point where I couldn't ride in certain cars because my legs were, a certain shape. And so I had to start taking the public transportation meant for handicapped people. And so with me being my age, I felt like, okay, not that my life is over, my life is altered in a way that I can't control. And I just have to accept and deal with it. And so, one thing I try to get across to people, I try not to use the word handicap, but handicapable. And yes, I have my dark times because with this condition comes infections, which is why I'm here now, because I was in the hospital before here, because I had an infection. Sorry. Um, that requires antibiotic treatment and IV fluids and things of that nature. Well, things just didn't go as well as we wanted in the hospital. So they moved me to a rehab facility to get extra care. And so here I am, and I thought about, okay, I'm not going to work. I'm just going to let my podcast go on hiatus. I don't want to talk about this. I'm in a dark place, but I'm like, nah, Kabila, you can't. do that. And then I've had many people fuss at me, literally. You have to work where you are. It's not about your physical location. It's about where you are here and here, and do what you can do to the best of your abilities. So it's my responsibility to tell people what I've been through and show them how they can either overcome or work through, whatever they're going through. Of course, my story is different from other people, but I'm sure if we talk long enough, we'll find some similarities. Um, you know, and I can imagine what you deal with having a heart condition at your age. You may feel like there's some things that are limiting for you, and that takes a toll on you. So that's why you have to be grounded spiritually and mentally and emotionally, because any illness, it can take over you and it can make you just say, okay, you win, you know? And I refuse to let it win, you know? No, not me.
Yeah. Um, man, you know, you can't let something like any illness take you out. Either be mental or physical. Um,
Yeah.
I totally get the dark times and the dark places. Um, for most of my childhood, I was sheltered because of that. I was born with a heart defect. So my mom knew
Mm.
when she was like 7, 8 months pregnant with me that I was going to have open heart surgery as soon as I came. Like she knew. I told her like his heart might not be like up to par. And to tell a woman that already has two healthy children at home that your last is going to have a pretty much an altered life for the rest of his life. Um, it gets it could rattle you. It could pretty much break you. But my mom fought for me, which made me fight. I've had 3 open heart surgeries.
What?
I've had numerous surgeries, heart catheterizations. So I've had people go through my legs and put wires and tubes, and my body's pretty much, if like I showed an X-ray of my chest, it's like Iron Man. Like I got barbed wires and surgical uh,
Right now?
plates and in my heart. Yeah, protecting it. Just because my last surgery, I had to get two valves put in because my blood was continuously mixing. So red and blue blood, right? We have red and blue blood in bodies.
Yes.
You know this. Well, the I think the red wasn't moving as much as it needed to be moving, so it kept blending into the blue. So it was turning purple. So a lot of that was starting to have an effect on me. So I had to have a surgery to, I guess, expand as much as my valve could allow.
Okay.
So one of my valves still doesn't pump right, and it probably would never pump right. It will never pump right. But the other one is doing its best and is doing amazing and is doing a great job. But one day, maybe down the line, I know eventually they're gonna have to hit me up and be like, "Well, listen, you might have to go in, and it might be an open heart surgery."
Now I should
And
be giving you all the flowers and all the you have a story out of this
I've
world.
I don't go too far into it because it's a story that, like you said, when you hear something like that or you have something like this, it's hard to kind of talk about it. It's fucking difficult. It's not something that you want sympathy for. You want to
No.
deal with it the way you could deal with it and push it how you
Yes.
push it.
This
And
is
so that's why I
baby.
don't go. That's why I don't talk about it too much. Everybody knows I have a heart condition. Everybody knows I have mental health issues, but I don't talk about how deep it is. And that's the thing.
You know, even though our situations are different, some of the similarities are the ugly side of it. Like for me, it's physically, outwardly physical. Because my legs are so big, it makes my body look like it makes me look like my top and bottom don't match. I know everybody has seen that picture of the Squidward, where he's like extra big and like literally that's kind of my body, and it puts me in a place where I have to be hyper aware of what I wear, how I look when I go out. Am I covered enough? Am I dressed neat enough? Are people going to look at me? What are they going to think? You know, are they going to just think, oh, that's just some overweight woman, and what are they going to think when they see, all these thoughts go through my head. Then I have to be aware of where am I going? How far do I have to walk? What kind of seats are available? Like so many things go into just going out the house. And so I don't even want to talk about relationships. Yes, I was married. Me and my husband split up not because of this. He just didn't want to be a husband. That's a whole other story. But when you're in a relationship or you're trying to have a relationship, and I can imagine with you, you have to let someone know, especially if you get too deep in a relationship. Look, I have certain things going on. I may not be able to do X, Y, Z. You may not be able to ride a roller coaster. I don't know what your limitations are.
I don't
There's
do
just certain.
heights. I don't do heights. That's more so my height than it was is my physical.
Okay. And so you have to be a little vulnerable with people that you meet. And I let guys know up front, I have a leg condition. It causes excess swelling, and then I have to wear these bandages, these wraps around my leg. So I try to let them know a little bit. I'm like, I'm giving you the opportunity to run now because I don't want to get too deep into knowing you. And then once you see the other side, then you're like, oh, this ain't what I thought. So, you know, I'm trying to give you easy out now. And some,
Yeah.
they stick around. I've had guys that try to stick around, but I'm in a space now in my life, especially now that I'm divorced. I want something more solid, more real, more steady. And so I choose to be single and not let anybody in because it's hard to let somebody in and then leave real quick. So I don't know what it's like for you.
Nah, that's what you say similarities. That's exactly similarities right there. It's exactly similarities. It's that's kind of why I started really getting into the podcast a lot because I had a couple situations going down with two girls and it just didn't go as planned. And it just was like, well, if they'll leave me when, it was bad already, why would they stick around when it's good? Why would I even give them the energy for them to stick around when it's good? You know what I'm saying? So, but they see me. They see exactly what they missed out on. I post it every day just to make sure you fucked up. I need you to see you fucked up. And yeah, I hope you had a great. I hope whatever decision you thought you had made was the perfect decision for you because I was there. I was there. I was gonna give you everything you wanted. I was gonna be there when you was sick or when you was healthy. I didn't give a fuck. I was gonna be there. But you didn't want that because you didn't think I was gonna be something. Or maybe you did and just didn't have that in you. Just stick around and see. I can care
you,
less. I
you got to go
can
back to
care less.
your little 5-year-old self.
I just I'm done with it. And I'm thankful because I'm done with it because I think that, like you said though, I understand completely what you mean by the pulling away part from like the not dating situation because it's like you really find out who's gonna be there when it gets tough. And
Yes.
like I said, my physical isn't as daunting as it used to be, where I needed an oxygen tank just to walk around when I was a
No.
kid. Like I remember literally before like Hurricane Katrina, we used to have an oxygen tank in my closet just in case if my pulse went down or something, they needed to put something on me just to give me the breathing. So I know exactly, but it's not the physical; it's more mental now. It's because I don't want nobody because I've worked so hard on getting to the mental space that I'm in.
Okay.
I'm not in a dark place, and so if I bring somebody into that, you gotta know I'm not gonna give you um no bullshit. Just don't give me no bullshit. I might
Right.
have days where I need to be by myself, but I'm going to tell you, hey, today is just not a good day for me to talk. Like, or you might be like, okay, let me come over and see what's wrong. If that's cool, okay, cool. We'll figure it out then when you get there. But yeah, I stay to myself very much because of that.
I totally get you. Some people in my life think I'm depressed because I like to sit at home in the dark. Well, not complete. Well, I say complete darkness. At least the TV on, my tablet or something. There's a little bit of light, but for me, too much light overwhelms me in my spirit. And when I'm in a creative space, I need like it's like your favorite blanket, that your
Yeah.
favorite fuzzy blanket or something. Like being in low light is like comforting for me. So, I mean,
I
I
love
know
it.
that sounds weird, but
No, that no. I got curtains on my window just in case. Like when I'm feeling them, like, you know what, man, let me just go ahead and chill for a day. I don't really care about nothing. Like, let me just have my day, my way. Like that's exactly how I feel. Like I completely understand because some people don't get that. They really do think, oh, he's just sitting in the dark. He must be depressed. No, I'm just chilling, having a good day. I was
because
having a good day. Like I'm pretty cool. I'm not really nobody's really bothering me. I'm not bothering nobody. I can get up and go. We're not, go get something to eat. If I feel like in the kitchen, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I don't really need that much.
yes, wow. One day people will get people like us. What's your zodiac sign, by the way?
Aquarius.
Okay. Oh yeah, very very creative person.
Yeah.
I'm a Pisces, so we're back to back. We're
Hmm.
similar but different. Got some similarities, but definitely different.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but when's your birthday? When was your birthday?
February 28th.
That's actually that's actually my grandmother's birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. Rest in peace, my grandmother. That's actually her birthday. Yeah. February 28th.
I don't meet many people with that birthday, and people are quick to
It's
ask me.
it's it's so many people that don't have that birthday, and it's I don't know what it is. Like it's just like, and also I don't know what leap babies do because when you're like born February 29th, like do you celebrate the 28th? Do you celebrate the first? I mean, you kind of can pick whatever you want to do there. I mean, I don't know.
And people are quick to ask me, "Are you leap year baby?" No, I was born in an odd number year. No,
Mm,
77.
mm.
So I just told my age, y'all. So y'all do the math.
I
But I'm
think
over.
yeah, but that's funny because I was literally like yesterday on Google because I just Google stuff. I'll be bored, and I just Googled like my birth date, like January 31st. So I Googled it. I try to see like what does that date mean. I was like, what does January 31st mean? Like in like just terms. Like what does that mean? What do I mean when it comes to that day in particular? And it was just like, oh, you just in a creative space, you start to think about things more frequently. Of course, being an Aquarius, so you already think about goddamn things differently. It's like you already think about things differently. I don't need to be extra think about things differently. Overthink already. I don't need extra stuff. Um, but yeah, I was like just googling. I was bored, and I was just googling stuff. And I think that was just the way it was supposed to be for me personally. I loved it. I think that I go off these thought process and just go do something that just yeah.
That what? Ironically, I'm like that too, and that's how a lot of us get most of our topics for our podcast. We could be sitting doing absolutely nothing, scrolling scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, or Google for that matter, and like, hmm, that would make a great topic. And then I don't know about you, I have a notebook, so I am a nerdy girl. So again, y'all don't let the hair and makeup fool you. I got my glasses too, but I love traditional like black and white notebook, composition notebook, and
Hmm.
these are my best friend. And so I feel my most creative when I have a composition notebook. I know that's weird. That's
Nah,
just that's weird. I know.
no, that's not weird at all. That's literally when like you can remember when you were just young and you didn't have to worry about problems. the world was still free and it was creative to you. You know, when you got a composition notebook, a black and white composition notebook, that's when you was like, okay, I'm gonna be serious now. I gotta be serious now. This ain't a joke. I gotta be serious now.
Yeah, so I write like I have at home like this bag full of these that I've written all kind of stuff in. So yeah, so people don't always understand our process. I know this conversation is going around the world. Like, we're going around the world.
No, no, that was perfect. They don't understand our goddamn process. That was perfect. That was a beautiful way of saying that. They don't understand us at all. We're very different to the eyes because we do things like you said that was kind of a little bit out of sorts, you know. But like you, I'm the same. I'm very like inquisitive. Like, I look for things that is like a little different because it's just like that's the beauty of life. Like when you can find something that you could be like, huh, I kind of relate to this more than I thought I did.
Yeah. You know, Jay from the cognac room said, well, he did a post and he said, doing this, like turning the microphone on and the camera, that's the easy part of what we do. The
Hmm.
rest of it that people don't see behind the scenes, you know, you had to do preparation for this interview and for your other interviews. You have to make sure all your equipment is, you know, working properly. Okay, what's some questions? What direction want to go in? Just, you know, odds and ends logistics of it all. You know, you know, some people, God bless them, they can turn the camera on and just
Go.
go.
Yeah.
But there are some days that, you know, okay, we need to put a little more thought and research into what we're doing. And so it's a
Yeah.
work behind this all.
Yeah. I mean, my podcast is mainly just off of me. So it's just like whatever because I got so many thoughts. I'm an overthinker, so I think so much, and it's just like, okay, that sounds right to say. I guess I don't know, and it's funny because I'll be posting videos, and I don't think I said what I meant to say. Then I look at the video and be like, I said that better than I thought I did. I said that way better than I thought I did. I didn't know that. I didn't know I was that damn smart. Like I was not like
Of it.
like, wow, I'm shocked. I should pat myself on the back. I was like, that was pretty. I was like, yeah, that was pretty
Look,
good, man.
celebrate yourself, honey.
I'm not good at it. I'm not good at the pat on the backs. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there. But hey, we all work in progress. Hey, what can I say?
Let me tell you, you know, what someone told me yesterday because I have been having moments of not celebrating myself. And so she told me it's about being bold and confident in where you are. Because I told her I don't ever want to get to a point where I'm boastful and I come
Mhm.
across as cocky. You know, she's like, it's just about being bold and stating your facts and your truths. And how people take it is how they take it. If they take it wrong or they're offended, then it's something about them. It's a them problem and not a you problem anymore. um, it's okay to celebrate yourself. You know, I look back over some of the things that I've done and look at, you know, kind of going back to the health condition and how I was able to navigate my life from 2009 to now. I've written two poetry books. I've finished two degrees. Um, you know, hosting the radio show, started the podcast, and joined a sorority. I'm you know, mentor to a few young girls, and you know, community service advocate. I've won Volunteer of the Year 1 year for the community. Just volunteer in different or different other community events and or with other organizations. And so I have to start looking at those things versus, oh well, I can't drive anymore. I can't walk long distances, or I can't, you know, I I got it. I'm talking to me. So if I'm talking to anybody else, then may this bless you. But for me, I gotta stop looking at what I can't do and focus on and celebrate what I can because of my spirit and my faith. I feel like God won't elevate me until I'm how can I say I'm content with where I am. You know, still always want more. Never give up wanting more, but when you're content in the moment, then God can say, okay, I find favor in you. Let me give you a little bit more. Let me open more doors of opportunity for you. And that's what I'm trying to get to in my life. Yes, I want the increase in the overflow, but I want to make sure I'm ready for it. So I got to do some work right here first.
I'm with it. I totally agree. I totally agree. I'm gonna let you go because I know you gotta go. But I always close out these podcasts with, of course, fellow podcasters or just anybody I talk to. From me to you. You know, I do videos on YouTube and stuff on, and it's a from me to you. So, what is one thing about podcasting that you love, and what is one thing about pretty much being an amazing survivor that you can share with somebody that's probably going through something? Might not be your condition, but it might be something else out there that they might not, be totally ready for. So, what can you teach them? What can you tell them to help them?
Well, I will say one, and I know it's going to sound crazy, embrace the dark moments, because in those dark moments is where you find your strength. And I really hate that our strength is built out of something tragic, but that's just life. So in those dark moments, embrace them, sit with it and go through it, process it and let it cycle. Don't try to rush through the dark moments. If you need a day or a week, sit with
Or
it.
even a month. Or
A
even a month.
month. Yes. And just look for the light, seek guidance, again, based on your faith and your beliefs, but look for those aha moments like, okay, what is this moment trying to teach me? What was I doing before this dark moment hit? Was I going through life too fast? Was I spinning my wheels? You know, what was happening in my life before this dark moment happened?
Well, your face is pretty. We don't dress up the.
I'm sorry.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, I apologize for
It's
that.
okay. It's okay.
So just embrace those dark moments when they come, because there is light on the other side of that. I'm sorry, what was the other part? Did you want to answer?
Uh, 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 what is it about podcasting that you love?
Okay. Okay. What I love about podcasting is that I can use my voice um to basically say what I want. But you have to be responsible because what you say can come back and bite you. So be responsible though. You can with your voice and your platform. I will say that. Some people get out here being reckless, just driving a car with no license, and just like no license, no insurance. You can't do that. Okay, but I love being able to say what I want with being mindful of how it's going to impact somebody else. Um, I always want to leave a positive impact on whoever listens. I mean, they might not like what I said, but they're going to think about it. Think about why they don't like it, and maybe they help change something within them. So I don't know.
It was
So
amazing. That was amazing. Thank you for being a part of this. I really, really appreciate it. One more time, tell them where they can find your amazing podcast, where they can follow you, and where they can get all that amazing content, and more so that those positive words because a lot of people need them. So tell them they can get you.
okay, I am QUEBEE from the Q Spot podcast. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And again, sometimes on Snapchat, but don't because it's yeah, I'm still working on that. Oh, and TikTok, but TikTok is a whole different name, so just stick with IG and Facebook and Twitter. My topics range anything from about race relations, just it's my personal observation, personal experience wrapped up with an empowering message. Like that's the whole premise of my podcast. Something from my perspective. It can be personal or something that I observed and then I try to wrap it up with an empowering message because I want people to walk away with something when they listen to my episodes, whether it's an interview or if it's just me by myself. So, and I just want to apologize for the interruption. Again, as y'all see, I'm in a facility and had to take medication. So, it's just this is the real part about what we do. Life happens. I apologize.
No
I
need to
apologize.
apologize. I get it. I totally get it. I'm used to hospitals just nurses just barging in and be like, "You ready? No, I'm not ready. Why are you? You see me doing something? What is wrong with you? Just put it on the table. We good. We good. Just put it on the table. Just go on about your business."
Because I was trying to like brush it, like
Yeah, I know. Like,
so.
um,
But I just thank you so much for this opportunity. You're such a kind and wonderful, warm spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
thank you for coming on here and even just talking to me. I really appreciate it. I know, like you said, you're going through all this, but for you to even do this for me, I truly appreciate it. I really, really do. Thank you.
Alrighty, well, thank you, and thank you to everybody out there who listened, who got this far. Thank you all for putting up with me. I appreciate it.
Oh man, Miss Q from the TheQSpot podcast, and that is the brand new show, Under to Success. I want to thank her one more time for joining me and being part of this amazing podcast episode, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys soon. We are out. Peace.